What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show, and boy do we got a good one today. I'm excited for it. I hope you're excited as we are on the eve of Brothers War League. Yes, that's right. We are here. We made it. Set Wars is no more. Congratulations to Magi of the Disc and Mount Rushmore. You guys did great. Sawyer, your team was in first pretty much the entire time. And Johnny, your team was a pain to play against. Boy, those games, playing against either of those teams, not super fun games. Man, every deck I played against was great. The players were so good. We really tried at the Brothers War. We really tried to make a push for second, but Johnny said no way. I tip my cap to both teams. You did great. I can't wait to see who wins the Mega Draft and who takes this thing home. But for Set Wars, we're done. And we're not going to talk about it till the winners come on the show next week. This week, we are talking Brothers War. And I looked into it a little bit, actually. A little bit of the lore. I don't know if you know the lore behind the Brothers War. I tried to look into it. Turns out there's a lot. There's really a lot that goes into it, and I don't have the patience to read everything I saw. So here is the gist of what I got in about 5 minutes. You know, Urza and Mishra, brothers, okay? They find two halves of a power stone. That they start fighting a whole bunch over the power stones, and then they leave. Boom, they separate, they split ways. Mishra and Urza start to fight. They join these two clans, these two rival clans on Dominaria, all right, on both sides. Mishra, at some point, turns into a Phyrexian, okay? And is he even really the Mishra that Urza knew at that point, okay? And then Urza, basically, they both kind of seem like jerks. There really is no good guy and no bad guy in this situation. They both kind of come off like jerks, kind of fighting it out. Mishra, you know, he becomes a robot, basically, Phyrexian blood oil guy. Urza ends up killing Mishra and then basically setting off a nuke, destroying everything, this part of Dominaria that they're on. And that's the Sylex, okay? Now why we don't go into Brothers War now, it has to do with the last set that we were in, with Karn and Karn Sylex and Dominaria United. Karn finds the Sylex, but he doesn't know how it works, so he has to go back. Well, I think technically Teferi goes back in time to when Urza originally set off the Sylex. And then, so he kind of has a better idea and understanding of what's going on. So that's how we got here logistically, right? We were in Dominaria United. How did we go back in time and why are we doing it? It's so that we can figure out what's going on with the Sylex. Karn has been taken to New Phyrexia, wherever that is. Teferi goes back in time. That's what Teferi does. And he kind of sees this Brothers War, the destruction, the pain that these two brothers have brought upon the land. And now we open the door for the Magic Arena Sealed Gauntlet League Brothers War. Yes, that's right. And I just can't talk about it in this segment. This is the intro segment. I need a different segment. So join me while we take a look at a prototype.
There he goes. One of God's own prototypes. A high-powered mutant of some kind never even considered for mass production. Too weird to live, and too rare to die.
Yes, that's right. New segment, new drop, who dis? Prototype. And this is, of course, the segment where I kind of go over what's going on in the league. We're in week one, or week one's about to start. So this is going to be Goku's do's and don'ts for the start of the league. If you're a new player, please, this part is for you specifically. Listen to it, learn it. I've been doing this a while. Usually these things at least are going to point you in a good direction. If you're an old player, I'm sorry you hear me say the same thing like every 6 weeks. But hey, you're a fan of the show and I appreciate you for it. Goku's do play a 2-color deck. Don't play 3 colors, at least in week 1. The fixing in the set's not great, and there's so many artifacts that you can kind of just squeeze them in. So even if you're short on playables in 2 colors, I think you really got to stick to 2 and just fill in those gaps with artifacts. Say you've got all these prototype artifacts that you need green for, but you're not playing green, that's fine. You can still play them. They just cost more mana. Make some Power Stones. It's going to be fine. Stick to 2 colors and don't beat yourself with a bad starting mana base. Goku's don't. Don't just start playing without having any idea of what's going on in Brothers War, okay? I have done 1 pre-release and I have not looked at the spoilers much, so I'm a little behind myself. I'll say that right away. I need to catch up. You know what I'm going to do? As soon as I get this podcast up, I'm going to jam at least 1 draft. I'll probably get 2 to 3 in tonight. 1, to kind of build up the cards I have so that I'm not draining all my wild cards away. I'm going to try to get as many of those commons and uncommons, 1 to 2 of them, so that it's not a big hit on my collection. And 2, I don't know what's good. I really don't know. I only did 1 pre-release. I went 3-0. It's no big deal. But, I played against blue in every match, so to me, the format seemed really slow. I hear a word on the street is that it's actually pretty fast. Where does it lie in between those 2 things? I'm not sure, and I don't know that we're going to know right away, but the best way to find out is to jam a couple drafts, maybe do a sealed, and not only just to see how you do, but to kind of get an idea of what cards are good, what colors are good. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing at the end of this recording. Goku's do play practice games. You got a couple decks that you're not sure which one you want to play, or maybe you built a deck and you think, yeah, this thing's the best deck in the world. Take it for a spin. Take that thing around the block before we start playing our real games tomorrow night. Because if you get in 2-3 practice games with that great deck and it's not really performing, it's going to give you an idea of maybe you should be looking at something else. Or maybe you get to sideboard and you go, I wish I had a swamp in here. I'd add in this and this card. Get that out of your system now in the practice games, okay? And I'll tell you, people that play practice games do better in the league. It's just a known thing. The more you play, the better you know your deck, and just the better you know what you're grabbing in sideboards. Play your practice games early and often. Goku's don't be a jerk, right? Don't be a salty jerk. If your opponent asks you to chat, if you can, go in there and say hi. After a game, give them a GG. Maybe talk a little bit about the packs that were opened. Get some discussion going. Get a little bit of conversation. Get out there in the community and be a part of it. It's not for everybody. Not everyone is going to have the kind of personality or the want to be out there and trying to make friends and talk Magic. But hey, you're going to be happier if you do it. Every time I've done it, it's been wonderful. And I'm not a social person. I am not a gregarious person. I'm a quiet, keep to myself, stay at home kind of guy. But I love chatting with people in this league. I love talking a little trash, seeing what they play, getting, then you talk, hey, you played this card. Is this card good or is this card bad? Or, hey, what were you holding? Did you have a removal spell? It's really wonderful to get that kind of conversation going, and you're going to learn a little bit more about your opponent and the people in the league. I really, really recommend it. And boy, it's going to be a great league. I'm very excited for it. I can't wait. Coming off Set Wars, I am ready for some more Magic. And I think this is going to be a fun set. I hope this is a good set. I was a big fan of Strixhaven. Strixhaven had the weird slot, for Mythic and Uncommon. Brothers War's doing the same thing. Some people opened up that Warm Coil engine. Some people opened up some really bad stuff. But you get a whole extra slot to open up some cool things. And I can't wait to see what happens. I know I got my pool, and I got 1 Mythic in there. It just looks like the best card in the world. It's the City Leveler thing. Again, I haven't played with these cards very much, but the thing destroys a non-land permanent on attack. Enter the battlefield and attacks? And attacks? What is this, Uro? Croxa? I don't know. But I'm excited to play with that card, and it's colorless, so that thing just goes in any deck. I can't wait. I hope you got a nice pool that you're excited for, and I can't wait to see that pool grow because the new mechanic of the set is very interesting. But I can't talk to you about it myself. I need some help. So join me as I unearth some things.
Looks like it's time for us to unearth a couple things.
That's right. This week I am going to unearth, some things about the league. Some things about the mechanics, how we got here, and what's going on. And I couldn't do it without my guest, Caleb Weistronaut. Caleb has been a, statue of the league for as long as I've been a part of it. Been meaning to get Caleb on the show for a long time. Was really excited and happy to talk to Caleb. Gonna play my interview with Caleb right now. All right, everyone, join me as I unearth none other than Caleb. Welcome to the show, Caleb.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure. And before we start, I want to tip my cap and say congratulations for making the Mega Draft in Set Wars. We had a nice tough battle against your team. And, I just want to say you guys did great. What can I say?
I got to give the credit to my teammates on that one.
Teammates.
Not so much pulling my weight, but got over the line in the end somehow.
Hey, well, congratulations. I know you're going to the Mega Draft. Always a super fun thing, and it's going to be a fun one. But we got to talk about now, and we got to talk about Caleb Weistronaut himself. Super huge get for me. Caleb's always been there since I've been playing. I remember, side note, back in Strixhaven, I played you. And I did a cool combo with the pest card where you stack a bunch of cards and then you make a copy and you draw a card for each thing that got set.
Okay, yeah.
And I had the creature that was like every time you cast a spell, you return a creature from your graveyard.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was like this big combo turn. And I remember you were just like really impressed. And I was like, man, I impressed this guy. And that means a lot to me. And that was you. That was you, Caleb.
No, it's like the Witherbloom combo decks where you could do some really sweet things. Like I had a turn where the Liliana in that set had like tendrils as the passive, drained you for 2. I had a deck where I got to cast tendrils with the Liliana out, so I got to like double tendrils.
Oh, no. Well, Caleb, I gotta know. The league has got to know. When did you start playing Magic?
So the answer is pretty recently. When I was in university back in an undisclosed amount of time ago, someone did try to teach me in a dorm room, but it just sort of went in one ear and out the other for me. So I only really got into it when Arena came out a few years ago. So around right before War of the Spark, I think.
War, do you have a pleasant familiarity with War? Is War something you look back on fondly?
Well, I have that for Ravnica Legions.
Okay.
And in particular, let me think. Plague White. No one knew how to block Plague White. I remember that because it has like pseudo flanking, right?
Yeah,
and everyone and it works if they double block it. It works on both creatures. Yeah, it just doesn't work for people's heads. And then Teysa Karlov. I remember very specifically a game where it was just like one of the first games I did in person because I started playing paper like after a month or two.
Yeah.
Where someone made a bunch of attacks that didn't make any sense to me. And I was like, hang on, I bet they've got that spell that gives like +2/+0 to everything. Because they're in like red, black or whatever.
Yeah.
So I block in a certain way, don't block with the Teysa, go down to 1, swing back with a bunch of life-linking afterlife tokens and win the game from there. So that's a good memory of mine. That might have been the first paper draft I did.
Wow, that sounds awesome, man. That's
still the group of people I draft with weekly. There's like a bar near where I live where every Wednesday we do a draft.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds so cool. Every Wednesday, I miss doing a lot of in-person Magic. I just did a pre-release for Brothers War, and it's the first time I played in like 2 pre-releases in person. And man, it was a fun time. It's different, so much different than playing in front of your computer.
Yeah, for sure. It's I'm happy we can get like somewhat closer with the streaming and the people piling in to watch and whatnot. But there's a difference.
There is a difference, but we play online. That's how we play, and that's how we're going to be playing the new set, Brothers War. I'm very excited about it. I got an Urza pack when I went and pre-released, and I hear you're the guy, Caleb. You're the guy who came up with this Brothers War thing. This was kind of your baby.
So do you want to introduce? Do you want me to introduce the mechanic first? I'm gonna guess people are gonna.
What's the mechanic? What are we doing here?
So for Brothers War, unlike for other sets, in Brothers War, when you get a punishment pack, you're actually going to get a choice. You're going to have the bot open for you a pack of Brothers War and a pack of a random historic set, and you're going to get to look at them, consider how they fit into your existing pool, how they work with the deck you have right now, how they might set you up for the future. And you're going to get to choose which one of the 2 to add into your pool. And this was an idea I had kicking around for a while in the back of my head. I pitched it originally as the idea for the Dominaria United League, but it wound up getting pushed back. And there's sort of an advantage here where this is one of the things Mark Rosewater says every now and then: his flavor is a lot more flexible than mechanics. It's true. Yeah, no. So it was like we did a bit of work to sort of retouch it and make it kind of fit the Brothers Wars thing. Like one's an Urza pack, one's a Mishra pack now.
Sure,
like that,
right.
that came after the original pitch. But I can actually read out. I've got the original pitch. I went and dug it up out of the Discord archives for you here. So in the original pitch, it was called Teferi's Temporal Divergence.
Ooh, I like it. 2 different paths.
Yeah. So for starting pools and punishment packs, roll 2 and let the player choose which one to keep. So originally, it was 2 packs from the same set instead of the Brothers War and Others split. And it affected starting pools as well. And that proved to be a bit much for people. I had some pros and cons for it. So pros, people who like limited enjoy making choices between cards. This lets them do more of that.
Sure.
Conceptually simple to explain. Like you pick one of 2.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Something to kibitz about with your opponent after a match.
Ooh, which one do I pick? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So people already do like the kind of chit chat like, oh, this is the pack. Oh, this card might be good for you. Yeah, maybe. I'm also looking at this, and this card maybe not should be there. Now you got something more substantial to talk about rather than just
this
like
pack. This pack has this, but this pack has those 2 cards. You know?
Exactly, right? And then the important one is it strengthens decks, but in a subtle way, where if you lose because of this mechanic, you kind of don't notice.
Sure.
It's kind of invisible to you. Although that's less true with the Mishra packs being out of set cards, but with the initial implementation, this is more true. And this was sort of like we had the feedback for Kamigawa League where people got beat by some of the cards on the bonus sheet. Like I think Ghostlight Drifter got us a couple of shots in particular. It was like it's pretty easy for them to look at that and say, what is this doing here? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
So here you don't know. It kind of works under the surface to strengthen decks rather than being a bit more blatant about it. And then the cons were we need to do a bunch of tech work to make this work in practice. And this is where I want to give a huge amount of credit to Sawyer, who actually put a ton of time into upgrading the Arena bot, where now it's going to be sort of this middle layer between the players and the booster tutor bot that Francesco has for us. And it's going to handle all of the actual choosing and like integrating with sealed deck tech and that sort of stuff.
Wow, man, how smart is Sawyer? Holy cow!
Love the guy. Sawyer is fantastic. A heck of a player too.
Yeah, that's the thing. The guy's an amazing player, and he can rewrite the bot. Like, can you give somebody a chance, Sawyer?
Now we're pretty well stocked on people who can code. It's sort of one of the just kind of comes with the territory with Magic, I think, after a while. But yeah, Sawyer's done a ton of work here.
I love the idea of the 2 packs. At first I thought it was 2 Brothers Wars pack, and I was a little scared of like crazy power level and stuff. And then I heard it's like a random chaos pack, and chaos magic is my jam. So I'm in. You got me hooked on that thing.
I mean, listen, if people want to go full chaos and just blind pick Mishra packs, then power to them.
Oh, it's very exciting. I can't wait to see what people start opening and grabbing and like seeing how that changes with what people are doing. Oh, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I hope there's going to be like, there's a bit of time, right? The only real pressure on you to pick a pack is you can't play your next match until you pick your previous pack.
Yeah.
So like if people want to invite the Gawking Rabble to come and advise them, they're free to post their choices in a deck clinic or whatever other channel winds up being appropriate.
I can't wait to see both sides of the spectrum. Like a 2-pack's so good that like how can you do like two mythics in this one, like 2 bomb rares, and then the 2 packs that are like I can barely play any of these cards in either pack. I really don't even know.
For me, it's going to be interesting to see like, do people tunnel on their initial build, right, and pick the deck that's best for the color pair they started with, or do they try to like keep their options open?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm excited. I love all the different sets. That's why I played in Set Wars. But we're talking Brothers War, and
it's a lot of war lately, but
isn't it? It's a lot of war. They're gonna have a set where they all just get along at some point. They have to. Right?
They haven't done like Secret Lair, like beach vacation yet, have they?
Oh no, but that would be amazing. Jace on the beach, Gideon like spiking a volleyball. So it's the new set. I don't know if you've had a chance to play it yet or not, Caleb. I know I did the one pre-release, as I said. I got a good handle on it off of that. But do you have any picks for Mythic Uncommon, Top Common before this thing starts that people might want to keep an eye on?
I've done a couple pre-releases on one draft, so this is like not
Okay.
going to be all that informed. But,
You got more than I do, so
the ones that like mill 3 and then get something back all seem pretty good.
yeah, every single one.
No, maybe not the blue one. The blue one's an 0-3,
That's
and
the
it
one I
has to get back a
played. I
non-creature.
played
Yeah,
that in my pre-release.
the white, the black, the green, and I actually forget what the red one gets back. But definitely
Artifact.
the
Red's
artifact. Yeah, okay, those all seem great.
Yeah, seems fine.
Love them all. Blue one, we'll see.
All right, so we like the mill cards.
I like the mill cards at common, and then uncommon. This is getting a bit speculative, but like
sure.
there's a lot of ways to kind of ramp out or cheat out like big idiots.
Yeah,
which is just like creatures that are just piles of stats with like trample or whatever.
Yeah.
And so if that winds up being what the format's about, is getting those guys out onto the field and bashing, then I think Swiftfoot Boots is gonna do a lot of work. Just because
one I had in my pre-release.
Yeah,
that was a fun one. That's an annoying card. That's
like normally I wouldn't be so high on it in like in like a draft environment. But if you're cheating out a 10/10 trample, then how about a 10/10 trample hexproof haste?
All right, here's a question for you. Let's say it's league, it's getting mid to late league. How many copies of Swiftfoot Boots would you have in a deck?
I don't think I'd run more than one.
You don't
like
think
even
okay.
I like my decks creature heavy. Even
a creature heavy deck. Don't you want some boots on those creatures?
The first one is so good, but the second one is just so bad, right?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But it's such a good card, man. Yeah, again, they don't make a lot of pants in Magic, but boots, that's a good one.
That's a good question. I had never considered the pants shortage in Magic.
Yeah, if you want to make a clothing arrangement out of Magic cards, you're going to look really awkward.
I'm surprised they haven't, like, there's like the cards, right, where they go back and forth whether or not Karn was pants or not.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I hope at some point they do give us Karn's pants. I'm not sure what they would do, but I think we deserve them at this point.
Oh yeah, they're going to be very, very powerful, very strong.
Oh yeah, they're going to break some format in half. That's for sure.
Okay. You're a league committee member, right? You're one of the top of the top. You're one of the man, as I like to call him on this show. Yeah.
Okay.
You are the man, but you've been around the league for a long time, and I know you've been a member. You've had a lot of good ideas for different leagues. So I'd like to hear some ideas, or an idea of leagues that just didn't work. Leagues just couldn't get off the ground.
Okay, I got two of these.
Yeah.
So the one that's just like for my personal satisfaction is monocolor league. And the idea there would be when you register, you pick a color.
Sure.
And then the packs you open are like a rarity weighted cube of every card from that color in standard at the time. And what I want to tap into with the monocolor league is if you talk to like, I want to channel like the child energy of playing Magic, where like if you're a kid, you don't know what the heck Esper is. You don't know what the heck mid-range is. There's 5 colors and one of them's the best, and that's the one you play. And that's what I want to try to evoke with that league.
That sounds really fun. Sounds hard to make happen, but it sounds really fun.
I think with Set Wars, people are a bit like burnt out on the whole asymmetric card pool balancing thing. So we'll take some time before this becomes a possibility, but I want to see it happen at some point. I think I would enjoy it. I don't know if other people enjoy it.
It sounds like a fun short one,
Yeah, like a 3-weeker.
Yeah, for sure.
The other one, which I want to fix, but more because I think it'd be good for the league as a whole, is I want something to do once you're eliminated. Yeah. And I don't know what that is or what that looks like, but the leagues go 6 weeks. There's a week between leagues. And if you go 50-50 in your matches, you're eliminated around week 4.
Sure.
Right? So we have ourselves a tournament structure wherein the average players can't do anything for half the time. And that seems like just such a missed opportunity to me. That there's people who would want to be more engaged, but we just don't have a mechanical framework where they can be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of difficulty to it, right? Like you have people join the pool of the eliminated, sort of they kind of trickle in, and then there's a big flood, and then there's another trickle. So that's a hard structure to work within. some people just fully check out once they're eliminated, understandably. So you'd have to make participation kind of optional. But if we could get something for that, I think it would do a huge amount of good.
Yeah, you know what, I had thought about it, because does sound like there's been leagues where I've been eliminated and just found other people to play with just because I liked my deck and I wanted to keep playing. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's just going to take someone's going to have the idea at some point. I don't know if it'll be me, but someone is, and I just got to look out for it when it happens.
Zombies or
yeah, no, there's the flavor. Believe it, the flavor is so good, right? Like you can call them like spirits or Phyrexians or whatever.
Unearth, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No, we got so many. Like half the mechanics in Magic are bigger mechanics. The other half are kicker. We just need we just need the mechanical framework for it.
Yeah, both those ideas sound great. I know you posted earlier, I think it was on like your year review where you had a bunch of ideas that you've done for other leagues. Those are great too. I always really enjoy reading about all the different things you come up with.
Yeah, some of those were a bit more half-baked than others.
Hey, that's all right. I like the weird ideas, man.
Set wars happened in one shape or form, so they're not all. I was happy to see that one happen.
Set wars. I'd love to talk to you just a little bit about Set Wars before we wrap this up. So you played Theros Beyond Death.
Yeah.
What was your experience? I know in the end, the rest of your team was kind of playing. How did you feel about Set Wars as a whole? What was your thought process on it?
It's interesting. I think in some ways it was a success. Like the gameplay, I think people mostly enjoyed. Like playing between sets, you have the synergy you can't really get with Chaos, but also the variety that you do get with Chaos. I think people got someone put it this way, where like you got rewarded for like remembering how Kaladesh Limited works, like that, which is a cool feeling for people who know how Kaladesh Limited works. People who felt they chose the wrong sets, and I'm doing finger quotes, felt worse about it than people who roll a bad pool in the normal way. And I'm not sure how much of that is people feeling like they were kind of baited into it by the handicapping, or people feeling like they were punished for trying to pick a set that they just liked or thought they wanted to play for fun.
Yeah.
But something about it rubbed some set of people the wrong way. And as much as I kind of enjoyed it, even though I wound up with, not doing so well individually, you can't argue people into having fun. Like people know whether they're having fun or not. And you can't tell them they're wrong, right? So all you can do is kind of take the note and try to move forward from there. And I think the lesson to draw from that is that the variance in Magic sort of is there for a reason, as it kind of mediates people's like emotional relationship to success and failure in the game, where there are some people who tilt because of variance, but if you take all the variance away, there are people who would, a different set of people who would kind of tilt out for an entirely different reason.
Sure.
Yeah. When you've got no one to, so tweaking that balance, I think is something that's a bit more dangerous than I initially appreciated. The other one is just teams of 4 versus teams of 2, like compared to
there's a huge
previous partner league. Yeah, there's a huge difference. I don't know how it like nets out to positive or negative, but it's definitely different.
It's very different. It's very, I love the team of 4. I want to do teams of 3 only because that's like what standard Magic team stuff is.
It does seem like if we've done 2 and 4, it seems like a logical next step.
But 2 was really great though. Like 2 was great, but I wonder if that was because of the shared pool on top of like the shorter games with just 10 instead of 20. Because I still really enjoyed this league a lot. It was just a big time commitment. I'm still kind of catching up from. I was playing games until yesterday, so I'm still catching up.
Yeah, no, this league with putting the timers on the matches was that was a good choice. That was a good choice.
That actually was. Did you ever have any games where you were trying to play to the timers?
I lost a game on time.
Oh, did you?
Absolutely. I was playing. I think it was Paul the Dragon.
Sure.
Or maybe it was Paul or Dan, someone with a short name. And it was just, I had these this equipment like Wings of Hubris, which has the ability, you sack it, you can attack, and the creature can't be blocked even if they have a flyer.
Sure.
but then you have to sack the wings and sack the creature at the end of the turn. So you don't really want to do it unless you're about to kill them.
Yeah.
But it costs 0 mana. So it just gives you priority at every possible point in the game.
Oh no.
So I'm just sitting there like down a minute, like having to like wondering if I should just give this up so that I can play quicker on the clock.
Oh no.
Yeah, I had to take I had to log off for a bit after that one. That was rough.
Yeah, that sounds a little rough. I know we all had our bad beats this league, and I got a few of them from your team. So what can you say, Caleb? You win some, you lose
exactly.
some. And I know you as someone who wins a lot. You've had a lot of top 8s, and I know you're searching for that win, which could be coming up. Knock on wood.
Yeah, maybe.
But I want to know, what is your greatest Magic accomplishment, this short Magic career you've had?
So I went to exactly one paper GP before, while those were still a thing, which was like GP Montreal, Eldraine sealed.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And I didn't do all that well.
Sure. Great format though.
It was a fun one. I had a deck with Lochmere Serpent and the book that milled people.
Yeah.
Which was just like the grindiest matchups. And then I got like a mirror match for somebody who also had the Serpent and the book that milled people.
No.
It was silly. I think it would have to be one of the leagues. And I think just personally, it would be Midnight Hunt League. Because if you look at the deck I top 8 with, there are 0 rares or mythics in that deck. And I'm still kind of proud of that one. I don't think a lot of people can say that they've top 8'd with just commons or uncommons in the deck. It's just blue-white spirits, a lot of copies of that 1-drop that gains life and then comes back as a different 1-drop that gains life.
Sure, yeah.
And then more flyers and ghosts and stuff. I felt good about how that league went. And that was also the one where I got the closest to actually winning the league. I lost in the finals there.
See, I have the opposite experience. Every top 8 I've made, it's because I've got enough busted rares and mythics to kind of carry me there. So that's really an incredible feat that you did it with just commons and uncommons. And you've done it a lot. You've had
this Set Wars would be my 8th top 8.
Oh which you're in the club.
I ran up the score kind of early in the league history, to be fair, but I can still feel pretty good about that one.
I've seen you make a few since I've been here, so you're still out there. You're getting your name out there, Caleb. You're getting your wins.
Yeah, I can still fight a bit. So honestly, though, the important thing now is just to keep the league sort of vibrant and, if not growing, at least solid in terms of player numbers. We're not compared to the peak of the league, which was sort of during the pandemic when we'd be getting 30 new players every set. We've had to rely a lot more on kind of building a player base that's going to come back over and over and over, which is, we're set up a lot better for our future that way. The conditions that led to that sort of successful recruitment in the early days are gone, and happily so. People got better alternatives now than this. But we have a group of people that find it fun, and I think registration for Brothers War, I think we're around 80 right now with about a day to go. So hopefully we, add on to that, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I mean the thing that you guys do with the league, from the concepts that you get to the way that you promote it to the way that you interact with the people in it. I know there's so much work that goes on behind the scenes, and you guys do so much. So really, I just want to thank you and spread that out to all of them, because the stuff you guys do is just, it's got to be an immense thing. And you've created this wonderful environment that so many people get to enjoy and play this game that they love. And it's high competition, high skill level, but also a lot of fun. And it's not just, I played my game, clock out, I'm done. It's you guys really have a great community here. And
you're a huge part of that. Don't sell yourself short here. This podcast is one of the couple biggest single pieces of community building that happens on the server. So thank you so much for running.
I'm happy to do it. I get to,
and that's an official league committee message.
Oh, from the committee. Thank you. I'd like to thank my family. I'd like to thank the committee for giving me this great honor.
You're gonna play your own outro music and cut yourself off.
Hey. Well, Caleb, it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. I've been meaning to get you on for a while. I messaged you like 3 months ago. I didn't realize it'd been that long, and said I was going to get you
Yeah.
on, and something happened. And I'm happy we could do it. Hey, who knows? Maybe you'll be on again next week when I bring on the winners of the mega draft, because your team is
You're
just.
gonna have
Oh,
4 people on plus you at the same time.
that's my
great.
hope. That's my hope. I haven't announced it yet, but my
That's gonna
hope
be
is to
fun.
get everybody on at the same time. Like I'll ask like half the questions, but it'll be really chaotic and really fun. Sounds good. But
Right,
thank you
here's
so much,
hoping.
Caleb. And I'm gonna wish you luck, man. I know you. I'm rooting for you to get that first win. You and Jeremy. I know you both want it. You want that emote. I want to see what you come up with. And good luck out there, man.
Thanks, man.
And let's go, Brothers War. Come on.
Yeah, bro.
And man, I gotta say, Caleb, what a beam of positivity. Caleb has always been like such a positive influence in the league. Seems like such a wonderful person, so smart and great at Magic. You ever play against Caleb, know that you're gonna be playing one against a very good player who's not really gonna make many mistakes, but two, Caleb brings some spice. You know, Caleb doesn't just play. I don't know. I'm always very impressed by the decks that Caleb has. Caleb likes to really try to do some fun things. Thinking back to Brawl League, he was on like the weird combo you out deck. I'm always very interested in what Caleb's playing because he's just a great player. And again, such a nice guy. I had a joy talking to him. If you play Caleb, please say hi. Get in the conversations. I know Caleb is a fan of chatting. He likes to talk about what's going on. And that's it. That's going to do it for the show. This is week 1. Get your practice matches in. Get your pool built. If you're new and you don't know what you're doing, go in the new player channel. If you're not sure how to build your deck, post it in the deck clinic. If you just want to say hi, go to general chat, right? We're all there. We're hanging out, and people are always talking. I love the league. I love that you're a part of it. This looks like it's going to be a really good one. And I love this mechanic. 2 packs. Are you sticking all Brothers War? You know, because you want all the artifact synergy you can get. And maybe you just keep opening up something really nice in that extra slot. Or maybe in your Mishra pack, oh man, Bomb Rare. Maybe I'm off Brothers this time. Oh, another Bomb Rare? And some good fixing? Yeah, okay. It's going to be really interesting to see how these packs line up and what kinds of decisions you have to make as you go. You know, these things are... It's going to be great. You're going to look back and be like, oh, if I would have taken that pack, I could have gone green sooner. But no, I took this pack instead because it had that rare, but I'm not playing that color anymore. Very interesting decisions. And just, again, very excited for the league. The committee has done a great job. Caleb, great job, you know, getting this thing together. I can't wait. But I actually can't play yet because I need to get some more drafts in. So I got to go. I got to do some drafts. Because, again, I'm behind. Behind on wild cards. I'm behind on knowing the set. And I want to play basically right away Friday, Saturday. So I need to build my pool. But I don't really feel super comfortable doing that till I know a little bit more about what's going on. So I got to go do that. While I'm doing that, I hope that you get to keep a good 7. And I hope that that shuffler is in your favor because that thing was broke for all of Set Wars and I don't know that they fixed it yet. I do not know. Watch the Mega Draft this weekend. It's going to be an exciting time. Set Wars, 4 people will win. We will have 4 league winners. Never happened before. I can't wait to see who's going to do it. And whoever does, you're all coming on the show next week. I want you to know that. I'm getting the whole team to come on at the same time. I can't wait for the chaos that will bring. All right, everybody. See you next week. I edit fairly heavily, so don't worry if you get caught up on something or say something you didn't mean to say. I'll edit it out. You know, if you bring up Cody's, doesn't make the show. Okay, don't worry about it.